Good. Awesome. What's going on, man? So what's that?
How you
What's up with that leg, dude?
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it?
Holy shit. And I woke up and I saw that. I was like, what the fuck is that?
I'm
It
not
doesn't
surprised, to be honest.
it doesn't hurt.
No, it feels like a vein.
It's like soft and squishy.
I mean, it just completely disappears. It literally feels exactly like a vein.
Right. I was looking at that. I was like, dude, that shit looks like some alien shit.
There's that arm wrestler guy, a famous, like, I think he's an ex-Marine, an arm wrestler. Uh, I can't remember his name, but he has these things like all over his body.
Really, just like that, wherever he like moves, it'll just pop right out.
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called, but I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely not going to go to an allopathic doctor and have them like prescribe me something just to remove something that doesn't really impede any movement
Oh
or
yeah.
cause
I was just
pain.
thinking like because I don't know what the fuck that is. I was Googling it. I was like, what could possibly make that? Because it looked like a hernia at first. Like when you move it, it just, but you have no pain. So I'm like, fuck, hopefully it's nothing serious. But if you don't feel any pain, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, I'm not surprised. Like I was saying, doing all those kilometers on the bike every day, plus the workouts, and that happened to come out on leg day, and my legs were kind of like veiny already.
Oh, fuck yeah. Of course it happens on fucking leg day.
Yeah, it actually happened during calf raises. So
Oh, nice. That's a nice little post. Like, hey, you ain't doing fucking leg day unless you get this shit right.
yeah, let's still do leg day.
Exactly. Shit ain't no
Yeah,
excuses.
yeah.
So what else is
So
going
I've been
on, man?
pushing
How's that
myself a
baby?
little bit.
What else is going on? How's that baby?
Oh, yeah, good man, good.
Nice.
Trying to survive the heat because they don't have air conditioning, so it's like between 30 and 35 degrees. I don't know what that is, and it must be like 85, 90.
Yeah, I don't know. Us Americans just always have it like,
Think that's what it is. I think it's like in the 80s for sure.
okay,
So I was just gonna check, but it doesn't matter. It's like hot
yeah,
as fuck.
it's just,
Um,
it's hot.
yeah.
So,
So you're just like constantly sweating and stuff.
fuck yeah. Yes, sir.
Apart from that, I don't really get to see him maybe like twice a week
Mm,
for 2 hours or so.
yeah, but I mean, it's magic every time.
Yeah, sure.
There's something when they're that young, like they're so, it's like you could just feel like everything about them is just magic. Like when they laugh, they cry, they're sad, just everything's magic.
Yeah, I mean he's not very reactive though. I mean he's like about to be 2 months old this week.
Hmm.
So, that age, they're just like kind of like his eyes are just kind of like darting all over the place, doesn't really respond to anything. Maybe maybe that's not normal. And I'm just about to find out. But no, no, we obviously go to like the doctor and stuff. So yeah, it's just I'm excited for the time when I can actually like do things and he'll react.
Yeah,
React to me like blowing air on his feet and he'll like smile.
yeah.
That just started like last week.
Awesome. Yeah, it's coming, man. It's coming.
Yeah. Or he's got like a bit of a rash on his ass from all the heat.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'll just like hold him kind of upside down and then blow air onto his ass, and that actually makes him laugh.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
But his mom doesn't like that kind of stuff.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, she's like a fearful person. So, she doesn't like me like, I don't know, manhandling him too much.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's the
You know
one.
that babies can like hold their body weight. So I'll like have him hold on to my fingers and then like lift him up and he'll just like grip really hard. So also like doesn't really like that either.
No, I didn't know that. Dude,
Yeah,
I
babies
love
can
it,
hold
man.
their body weight. I think from the moment they're born, basically they have this ability to hold their body weight, if I'm not mistaken, for 90 seconds or more,
Really?
which is quite a long time. And then we slowly unlearn or just like lose that ability, which is apparently natural for human beings.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like,
I don't know if you've tried like your max hold on a pull-up bar, but 90 seconds is a long time.
no kidding. Fuck that. Yeah, after this, I'm about to have my daughter start doing pull-ups. You're like, let's go. Let's see what you got. Start timing you.
What's up with you, man?
Oh man. Yeah, you know how it is. Like, getting up, doing your thing. Promised my daughter that we would go to the beach today. So I gotta get that. And then after that, I gotta come home, record another podcast with somebody, and then hang out with her again, and then do daily tasks, and then fall asleep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not mistaken thinking you do this full time too, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. There's no other way to do it, man. There is just no other way to do it. Like, it's not like the money aside, you know, like you're just not alive unless you're fucking doing the shit that you want to do. Like, even if
Yeah,
you do it for like 2 hours, who cares? Like, that's when you feel alive.
yeah, that's right. And I mean, I mean, I guess if I had to get a job, I could probably make it work, but there's no way you could compete with somebody who does it full time and gives it their all as well. It's not like I'm just like messing around because I can afford to, which I can't really, but I mean, I could if I wanted to, I could take things easy all day long, but I'll still try and put everything into those 16 or 20 hours I'm awake.
Mhm.
And there's no way somebody who does half a 9 to 5 can compete with that. There's just no way.
No, not for someone that's making millions. No, not at first. No, but you got like if you were to gradually, going to where you could leave that job and then start, really doubling down on it, then you may never catch up to that person, but you'll significantly be ahead of where you were.
Yep, you're right. Especially now that you either pay someone to create your content or you figure it out on your own, and that in itself takes up such a huge chunk of time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But then again, it's always, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? So if you were to pay somebody, cool, you'll get somewhere faster. But then if you were to learn it on your own, then you got skills, and then you can monetize those skills if you needed to. So it's always like for every
Right,
setback, there's an advantage that you gain.
right.
Yeah.
I would say being able to create your own content and know how to edit and design stuff is definitely an advantage big time because then you can also do exactly what's in your head and not have to lose some of it if somebody else does it because I mean you
Right.
can explain as much as you want how you want that website to look, but only you know.
Exactly. Exactly. And then in your mind, you're like, fuck, man, why can't you just get the shit? Why can you not see what I see? But like, no,
Yeah.
I don't. Like, I just do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm about to get a GoPro and because my
Ooh.
phone broke from taking it into the water.
Oh,
You
fuck.
know, do that those like walks into the at the beach every single day is like taking a toll on my phone. I guess it's like full of salt water and sand.
Oh, so what?
So
It just is like the video quality is just not doing it anymore. Like it.
no, it's not charging anymore.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Like there's a bunch of sand and residue like at the bottom inside the charging port and stuff.
Yeah.
even though I tried to get it out, but it's like with wind and then combining me holding the camera and like filming myself going into the water and all that splashing, even
Mhm.
if it's just a tiny bit, then the seawater will dry up and like go into the charging port. And I guess that's been happening, day after day after day since I started, which was like February. And now we're in July. So that's like 5 months of that happening every single day. It's just like I looked into the charging port and I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got
Right.
myself, and talking about skills, I got myself one of those like kits, professional like cleaning kits where you like have the little screwdrivers to open the phone and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure, man. Like, dude, it's so crazy how where we've come to as this like in this day and age where this fucking thing like it drops and you're like, no, like everything is on here. Like your whole business, your whole everything who you are is on this fucking thing. But
Well,
then
unless you're backed up on the cloud,
unless what?
unless you're backed up on the cloud, then you can just like replace the phone, log into your account and download everything.
True. I don't know what I always find myself out of cloud memory. Like even before I get a new phone, I'm just like, oh, you're done. No more for you. Wait,
Yeah.
hey, we'll give you more. Like, no, you know what? No. It's the principle of
Yeah. I'm just gonna take care of my phone.
exactly. Like I will spend the 40, $50 for the otter or like the highest phone shield there is because I don't know, like still stubborn in some ways, like just the principle of matters. Like
Same here. I don't have cloud backup, man. I don't have
yeah,
that.
it just fucking it pisses me off. Like, fuck you, man. Like I haven't even done anything to where like I just get a new phone. You're like, nope, your cloud storage is full. Like it's like saying fuck you. You can't even get in without even showing up there. Like I haven't even come. You're already telling me I'm not on the list. Well, fuck you. I don't need your
Yeah,
list.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, have you been to Europe?
No, I have not. I've been to Japan. But that was like it's 4 to 7, so no, I haven't. Have you ever been to the United States?
I have, yeah. Greatest
Really?
country in the world, yeah.
No kidding. When's the last time you were here?
Um, must have been like 2014.
Oh, okay, so that's not too long ago.
Yeah,
Where'd you go?
the Midwest.
Okay, fucking West.
I used to date a girl from Cincinnati.
Really?
Well, I mean, we were dating like outside of the US, then she decided to move back, so I kind of went there
Okay.
for a couple of weeks and to see like just to scope it out. And
Mhm.
I like the Midwest. I like Kentucky, but I didn't like our relationship so much. So
Right.
unfortunately, I never went back. But yeah, I would love to live in like Georgia or something.
Okay.
Or I think I was speaking to you about this, and like Colorado would be cool too.
Colorado. Yeah.
Where are you?
I'm in New Jersey, so we're
Oh,
on the
okay, yeah,
East Coast.
also.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I've also been to New York
yeah.
and California.
Yeah. California. I haven't been there since 2009, 10. But yeah,
Mm,
California is it used to be fucking crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, now,
got a little bit bad rep now.
oh my gosh. Like I haven't even been, I wouldn't even want to go back there. Just so fucking, just weird, some weird shit.
Yeah, I remember when San Francisco used to be like kind of in and like cool and normal.
Yeah, like
And
not like
it's slowly
everybody,
crazy.
like yeah, dude, you gotta go, you gotta at least go to San Francisco one time in your life, just to check it out. Now it's like, fuck, I just heard like, something just like happened where like I think so many businesses have just pulled out now that it's about to collapse or some shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but then again, I don't. Who really knows? Like, there's news, and then there's news that you think you can trust, and even then, with that, we've all seen like who the fuck really knows now? Who really knows?
It's hard, man. You'd have to be like constantly going to all these countries to be able to compare. But from what I've seen, I think America is like the last true free place, even although it's not really that free. But just the rights you guys have left.
Hmm.
I think which is the gun rights is the second one. Second,
Second Amendment.
yeah, like that's nowhere else.
Yes,
Literally nowhere.
they're pushing so fucking hard to get rid of that thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No
Like,
wonder. 'Cause
dude,
it's like when you're fully over the edge, like nobody can have arms anymore.
it's it's so fucking stupid. There's people are still gonna get those guns. Like, they always find a way. Like, how is that people just find a way to get these guns? That's the only thing that, citizens that abide by the law can protect their houses. But even then, like, there's some crazy fucking laws in some, like here in New Jersey, it's a crazy law that if somebody just breaks in your house, you can't just fucking kill
What are you meant to do?
them. I don't know. That's a great question. I don't fucking know. It's so weird.
Damn, man.
Yeah. It's
Well,
just
I know that you guys also aren't allowed to have like certain types of guns, like for example, heavy artillery or something like that. Like you can't just
yeah,
have,
fully assault weapons cannot have.
yeah.
Which, whatever. Like, that's fine. If
I don't know if that's fine, man. I want to have like like what is that one called? Minigun, like on an Apache helicopter if I want to.
if you got a fucking minigun, like, you should just post that shit in your house, like right on there, like, don't fucking enter. Like, don't beware of dog. Beware of minigun.
I don't know. It's just it's pointless anyway, right? Because you'd just be like in GTA when you're at 5 stars and like you've got all this police coming to your house. What are you gonna do? Just like fire endless rounds at them?
I don't
I'm
know.
not
Well,
gonna pay my property
If you're
tax.
in San Francisco, that's basically what you have to do. Because I mean, the cops aren't coming, so just like fucking
That's
firing away.
hilarious. But yeah, they're not allowed to. They're not allowed to. Otherwise, they're labeled like some kind of racist or
Oh,
I don't know, hyper masculine homophobes.
right. Hyper masculine fucking racist motherfucker. For
Yeah.
it's so crazy.
Well, dude, I was gonna say all it takes is like one generation for that to be lost, and I think they really tried to do it with ours, right? Like the people who are kind of 33 and above, between 33 and like 42, where we grew up with television. Like I don't know about you, but unfortunately, my parents just put me in front of Nickelodeon and the Nintendo. That's what I grew up on, and it really just like fully affected my everything. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
could have
I
gone
mean, that
down
was
a completely bad path there.
right. That was a time where nobody knew anything about this. It was just like, strictly entertainment. Like, there was no professional anything. It was just entertainment. But I really think, like, even then, like, that was the tipping point, or it started a slippery slope. But I remember, dude, when I was young, like in my 20s, I would go out to drink all the time. But people, still had social skills where, we would interact, all of that stuff. You had to. And then, I mean, cell phones were like, starting to become a big deal. Like the fucking razor. I remember, like, I thought it was the coolest thing. I had a fucking razor. You get a text message, just flip that fucking bad boy open. Like, yeah. But you
Yeah.
still had to interact with people. So then there was a time where I didn't go out for like years. And then I remember my friend, he took me out on my 30th birthday, and it was a total, it was like a Twilight Zone. Like everybody was just glued to their phone sitting at the bar. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, well, why does nobody, how does anybody get laid now? Like, how does anybody talk? Because everybody's just glued to their fucking phones.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. So I think just having everything on here now, which is great. Like, there's definitely some great things, but also you see it all the time now. It's so normal. Every teenager I see, every young person I see is just walking everywhere and just glued to their phone. And then,
I'm so glad I grew up not having that. I remember I was like 18, 19 when the first people started getting their phones. So you're already like developed, but I was definitely not, I mean, you can't be glued to the Nintendo or PlayStation. So that was different, right? Because I did also go out. Like it was like some days we would spend like 12 hours doing some kind of like marathon on the PlayStation. And then other times we'd like go to the forest and like hurt
right,
ourselves. There was this balance, but now that you're going like straight from the PlayStation straight to the phone, there's like no break.
right, yeah. I just, I don't even know. Like, I mean, even, my gosh, even like the video games took a whole turn with just everything being online. Because I could sit there and play like things for like an hour or two, or like sometimes it even a whole day if I was like really trying to beat a fucking level. Like I had a mission, I was mission oriented,
Yep.
and then you beat it, you're like, finally, fuck, I'm free, I can go out and do things again.
Wow. Yeah.
And then everything was just became online, and that became a whole nother addiction. Like, remember I fucked around with it with Call of Duty, and
Yeah.
like, dude,
Yeah.
Jesus, just sit there and play it like nonstop, and that's all you wanted to do. Like, fuck that. Like, I gotta go to work. I'll call out today. I'll fucking be on Call of Duty all day.
Yeah.
And then it's like 6 a.m. Next thing you know, it's 6 p.m. in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, I
If
stopped playing games when it was like mostly online. Like there weren't it wasn't like you said, just mission based. For example, Half-Life, I finished the game and then I was like, okay, cool, I'm done. It's like now we need to take this online and people are like interacting with each other. I was like, nah.
right. Yeah, dude. And then like just fucking talking with people, like their absurd shit that comes out of people's mouths. I'm just like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I mean
It's
they used to like mix them. Every once in a while, I'll think about the nostalgia, like of like great games that they came out with. Like there was real fucking storytelling in them. And now I don't know. I guess it's for a new generation because I haven't played video games in a while now. So
yeah. Have you seen how realistic some of the racing games are?
no,
I've seen some clips. I've seen some clips on Instagram, and it's pretty difficult to tell if it's somebody filming with a GoPro or if it's actually the game. And there's like
really.
tiny details that will give it away, but it's crazy, man. It'll blow your mind. I promise. I'm not just saying that. I like the first time I looked at it. The first time I saw it, I actually thought it was. I think it was like Colin McRae rally or something like that. I
Uh-huh.
thought it was. I thought it was a real rally that they were filming, and then the way there's something about the dust that was like just a tiny bit off, and then the comments people were like confused, like people who are part of our generation like couldn't tell, that was a video game. It's just like
Right.
or it was some kind of like one of those games, and it was like that's such reckless driving for being in the city. It's
Right.
like, dude, it's a video game.
Maybe the whole thing's a fucking conspiracy. Maybe everybody's posting their fucking Lambos. It's like these video games now.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How do I get one? Oh yeah. Just grind all day, baby. Let's go.
Now, have you tried VR goggles?
No,
Me
not,
neither, but a friend of mine has and said it's like again one of those things where it's like really just incredible.
dude. I fucking last time I heard about virtual reality goggles is like people you could watch porn and it's
Huh.
almost like the real fucking thing. And I'm like, dude, this is no, it was wild.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like that's just to me, it seems like you're going down way like too much of a dangerous slope right there. Not that you
You've
have
seen Black Mirror?
what's that?
Black Mirror, the series.
I've seen a few episodes.
There's one with like instead of VR goggles, it's like some kind of chip. You just like some kind of like magnet you put here, and then it makes you fall asleep, and your consciousness goes into the game.
Really?
Um, yeah, it's like so crazy. So I think maybe by the time we're grandparents, like at the end of our time, our generation, like at the end of our generation's time, we might they might be like looking at that kind of level of technology. You know, it's like one of those chips which have like four needles on it, and it's like you don't need to like have some kind of device implanted in your head. You just push it into your skin, and um and that's enough for your consciousness to like go to to the game. And in the series, the dude gets like stuck in the game or something like that, and in actual reality, he's like just lying on his couch with his eyes closed. So Black
Fucking wild.
Mirror is like really interesting, man. I've watched the whole thing numerous times. It's like one of those things that's worth watching just to open your mind to what could possibly come, you know?
Dude, the whole thing. Like I don't doubt it, man. You know, because I mean, for Elon Musk wants to, do something like along those lines. It's like, at what point do we just, can we not just be humans? Can we not see the value of just being a fucking human being? Like the interaction, like the conversation, and not just like have to be in some thing, some like
Yeah.
distraction.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, man, just want to go back. I've never properly been there, but like to some of those Midwestern areas where it's just huge farmland, and I feel like that's going to be, if this ever goes down that dark path, I feel like those are going to be the last free, unaffected areas. Maybe
Fuck
some
yeah.
places in New Zealand and stuff like that. I don't know, but
Wow. I hear
here in
I think New
the
Zealand.
population. So, have you been?
No, I hear New Zealand is pretty fucking nuts now. It's like the whoever
Yeah,
it's like, dude, why is everybody so it's like what? I mean, it doesn't surprise me if you look at, even if you didn't pay attention in school, like there's always, some history of people wanting to conquer the world. Like every fucking time, every generation, somebody wants to conquer the world. It's like we'll never escape it. No matter how great you think things are, there's always going to be someone that wants to conquer the world.
I mean, but you can conquer the world and no need to do that. You know, you can just be like a good conqueror, maybe.
I don't know. Like it just would seem so fucking boring. Like if you conquered the world, then what? It's like you're just setting yourself up for doom because how many millionaires or whatever you read about or billionaires that like once they accomplish what they wanted to accomplish, they just go stale. Like they get depressed and all that because what else is there to accomplish? What else is there? What other mission is there?
Dude,
What
to like
what is higher
to
than conquering the world?
I don't know, now we're going really far down the rabbit hole, but like I don't even really believe any of the theories about what kind of thing we're living on, right? Like I don't really believe flat earth stuff. I don't believe NASA. I don't believe any of it. It's not like I'm a flat earther. Like I don't believe that theory either. It's like just a little bit of logic and you can tell it's straight. Like most of what you hear is complete bullshit. But if you look at old maps, then there's something funny going on there, you know, I just kind of like look up into the sky and there's just a question mark. It's not like I know. That's the thing, right? People always want to know. They want some kind of definite answer, but I just don't know. I don't know. I don't trust any of the theories. So if I were to conquer the world, the first thing I would do is like just explore everything, because yeah, I don't know, man, what's up in the sky. Like it's just, I don't know. It does not, don't believe NASA's like stuff. I don't believe what the science that they tell us about. Like I just don't buy it, and I don't buy any of the other extreme either.
So
So I'm
here's
just left with this weird curiosity that's just a void in my stomach. It's just like an empty void. I'm just like, what? So what is it then? I don't know.
okay. Like I can relate to that when I think about how the fuck all this gets started. Like even like if you go to the Big Bang Theory, like even then, like that's when I get anxiety because then you're like, cool, you're telling me the Big Bang, but what the fuck started before the Big Bang? Like what is here? Something had to have happened where like all this energy, you talk about like it started in this tiny ball, this mass energy. Like how? Like what was in the space before like first stretch it out? What is going on? Like that gives me anxiety because I don't know if we're meant to have that answer or no.
I think we are, man. I think the people who rule over us, or the top at the very, very top of the food chain, who we probably don't know who they are, they know. Like they have all these answers and they're just not telling for some reason, or maybe not. I don't know. Like again, I don't know. And I think in my list of I don't knows are so many things which most people would just go like, no, just look at it, man. It's been like verified, you know, but
Ooh,
I haven't
I would
verified it. Like
love.
I haven't seen it with my eyes.
What are some of these I don't knows?
I mean, I don't know, hit me with something that's
Okay.
generally
All right.
accepted by all of us, you know? Like,
Here's the moon. Do you think we landed on the moon?
no. I
No.
mean, I believe we haven't, but in the end, I also don't know. We could have, but the moon landing stuff, the evidence that's like presented as contrary is too strong for me to be like, yep, that definitely happened.
Okay. Dude, I'll never forget like when I was in high school. Like I mean, like before this point, like this everybody fucking believed in the moon. Yeah, we went on the moon. It's not even a question. So
Yeah.
I'll never forget like my tech teacher, Mr. fucking Brennauer. I'll never forget. He showed us a fucking like a documentary. And this is on VHS, dude. This is like, and
Damn.
yeah, like, did we really land on the moon? And you could have like a fucking conversation with him. And he's like, well, yeah, like, how the fuck is the flag blowing in the wind? And there's no wind up there. Are you gonna tell me there's solar wind? Like, okay. But then for it to go back and forth, like, it would just go one way instead of going back and forth. I was like, all right, you got something there. But just to hear this dude like just talk about it and then like being the fucking asshole you are when you're in that school, you're like, you believe that fucking dude we didn't land on the moon. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And you hear like all these other things, like a lot of it makes sense, like the shadows and all this other stuff. And you're like, okay, there's question, like and that's like one of the great things to anything like a trial or anything is just planting that question, like what if, like what if, like some emotional attachment to see if something else is there. And then with everything that's come out in the past couple of years, it's almost like, yeah, people can try to hit you with that gaslighting. Oh, it's just a fucking conspiracy. But I think people are starting to think more conspiracies are starting to be true than not. So then it's like, where did the word conspiracy come from? Just to fucking just to make people feel crazy, or is there really some truth to it? So I think you have like anything that you question is worth looking into. So you can't just be like, oh, it's a conspiracy. Like you got to really look into it. If there's question, usually it's not as exact as what you thought.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean it's a slippery slope to look into it because then you can just be literally on the other end of the spectrum where again there's somebody benefiting from selling you a t-shirt that says we or a cap that says we never went to the moon and there's all this like weird I
Right.
guess counter conspiracy which is just literally the other end of the spectrum and most of it there isn't really any solid evidence either the most solid evidence I've seen for some kind of for a conspiracy is this video on YouTube of a weather balloon going up the sky at night, and the stars seem to be a lot closer than you think. You know, they're not like this thing that NASA told us about, and it's like you look at it and it's like, above the clouds, like actually looks kind of a lot different. And I saw that back when I was at university. So I was like 21 or something like that when I saw that video of that weather balloon. And I was like so deep into conspiracies at that point, man. When I was at university, like all I did was smoke weed and watch conspiracy videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so much, man. Literally, I was like, it took me so long to like figure this thing out that I'm telling you about the other end of the spectrum. It's like, no, we never went to the moon. I'm so sure. And it's like, I can't be so sure, you know? And I feel like most people will just spend, if they even come to question anything, they'll spend the rest of their life on the other end of the spectrum and never be in that space of not knowing and just stay there and just be a productive human. You don't need to know if we went to the moon or not. It doesn't fucking make a difference to our lives, really. In the end, it's like you still have to do your daily tasks. You still have to eat and stuff. So it kind of feels like it's wasting time. But anyway, ever since I saw that video, like every flight I take, I'm just trying to look out of the window and just like with such insane curiosity, man. Like, come on, I need a window seat to just look out and see what it looks like above the clouds with my own eyes, you know?
Like I hate to interrupt you there, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's like a waste of time because remember we were having a conversation like a couple not too long ago, but I was like, fuck man, like nutrition. I was like, just always gotta like read up on it. I don't know why I'm so obsessed, but it's just fucking I can't explain it. It's just gotta fucking know. And then like I thought it was like, it just wasting my fucking time, man. Just wasting my time. And
Fair
then
enough. Yeah.
all of a sudden fucking I got hit with that knowledge that it's the most fucking it's the deadliest fucking mental health in the world. And I was like, oh
Just last week, you mean?
yeah. And it was
Yeah,
just like
yeah, yeah.
that. It hit me. I was like, all right, now I see. Because you're familiar with that line, if you're struggling harder than most with things, it's because, your purpose is greater than than what you think. Something like that. So then it just hit me. I was like, okay, motherfucker. I got it. I see now why I'm so obsessed with it because meant to like give out like real information. As you can already see, everybody's like fucking in the dark about fucking insulin and carbohydrates and fat and protein, the whole everything. People just don't have that knowledge, like real fucking knowledge. So
Man. Well, man, I just had an epiphany. Maybe my purpose is to get all those people who are conspiracy theorists and actually have them execute a daily process which makes them more productive. And then we can find out if the things are actually true or not,
yeah,
instead
fuck,
of just looking at secondhand data, you know?
right. Like there you go. Like bring up, be the one that has the real fucking data. Because I mean, I think that's what anybody just is after. Like, can we just get some real fucking facts? Like, if I were to drop this pen on the floor, it's obviously gonna fall. That's a real fact. Like that's anybody's after. Like, I just want the real fucking data. Because it's people I come across in a day that are like, oh, fucking fake sugar. That shit'll cause cancer. Like, dude, have you actually read the fucking data yourself? No, you just heard that from somebody. Like, what the fuck?
Well, most of what we know is that kind of information, right? If you think about it,
Oh
most of
yeah,
the stuff we know,
for sure.
especially history and like geography.
Yeah, it's like it's just been, what's the one thing that, like I said, one thing that's, always adds up. Everybody's always trying to conquer the world. But other like the real details and the facts and all that, we have no fucking idea. No
Yeah,
idea.
man, that's where this came from. Because I was like, if I conquered the world, then I would just, first of all, let's see what's in the sky. Like, let's build something and go there. And second, let's go to the edge of this supposedly flat Earth and see what's there.
Mhm.
Because I've never, I mean, I haven't done a circle around the world. I don't know how big it is. I don't know. If you look at really old maps, there's like more. There's like more stuff.
How are
Um,
we talking here?
I think it's like the 1500s or something.
Okay, like for that, I would easily make an argument like, that's different technology. But then again, I don't know. I wasn't there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm not gonna like. I believe the world is, round. Like I can, if I look out, like I can see, like the sphere ending. Like what's it line off? And I know it's obviously that's like not the edge of the world. Because if I were to just keep walking or go out there, I'm not gonna fall anywhere.
yeah,
Or as I wouldn't know how to make a fucking map. Who the
yeah,
hell?
man. Me
Not
neither.
exactly. So, but if there's a
Maybe my map is
question,
actually just like 30 years old.
yeah, actually, someone just wrote it. Like, yeah, we're just gonna go with this. Nobody really knows
Yeah,
how to make a fucking map, so we're just gonna go with this, and that's that. And if you
yeah.
question it, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Oh
And you
man.
know what? And since you're a conspiracy theorist, you get no more cloud data. You're fine. You're done.
Put that chip in your neck.
Exactly. Vegas. Plug into the Matrix, as Andrew Tate loves to fucking call it. The fucking
Yeah.
Matrix.
Yeah, or man, even just like dig a hole like straight down and see how far down it goes, you know. I think there's the deepest one was like in Russia or something.
Yeah.
You know that classic image of the Earth with like the different layers and then there's like glowing lava inside. Like that always fascinated me as a kid. And I was like, so you mean you like keep digging and then it gets like hotter and hotter, and then at one point you just like put the shovel in and it's like boom, it opens and like all this lava comes out. I don't really know what that's like, but I guess there'd be a lot of work to do, man, if I conquered the world. Basically, I have to like redo science.
Seriously. Like, let's start with a fucking map. Start with a
Yeah.
map. Yeah. Dude, you ever seen that movie The Core?
No.
Oh man, like it's really makes you think, like not just, on like conspiracy, but it makes you think of those layers, because they had to go to the core, restart the core, but they're going through the layers of Earth. Like there's like fucking at one point there's diamonds, geodiamonds of just for miles because of the pressure in there. And it's like, dude, that's fucking wild. It's wild.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
know. I wouldn't even know how anybody knew, like, wouldn't know, because it's not like even if we were to get to the center of the earth, how if it's what you say it is, we can't I don't know how you would survive that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I can't believe we touched on this topic like so early into the conversation.
It's great. Like everything, I feel like there's so many podcasts that just, talk about just, like success and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, you see, even your face right there, like, oh yeah, I know what you mean. Like everybody's got a, success, and even I am guilty of it, just like people skills and all that. But this is what I found. Like you look at all the Joe Rogan, like Joe Rogan's got the biggest podcast in the world. And what makes his so fucking big is because he just fucking people, he just has people on and they just talk about all sorts of shit that's on their mind. Like, doesn't matter where it goes, they just talk about it.
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah.
not too many people have a podcast of just fucking talking about shit. It's always something like something's got to be success oriented or whatever, and not just the questions that we as human beings have on our mind.
Yeah. Plus, if it's also difficult to kind of have, I guess, two people who think differently to just have a conversation, right? I mean, we don't
Yeah,
think our thinking isn't so different, but like I know people get triggered when I talk about the not knowing. It's like at some point it triggers you because, like you said, I believe the earth is round. And if you ask me, I just don't know. And that alone, speaking to my friends about that, it triggers them. They're like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, we do know. And it's like, no, like, we don't. We don't really, I don't, at least. I'm not talking about you guys. Like, you guys might know for sure, or you might believe it in your heart, but I just can't prove it.
yeah.
I literally can't prove it. I can just see what I see when I look as far as my eye can see. And it doesn't really look that round. But
The only way you would really know is if you and I like concrete data. Is like if we were to go up in a spaceship and like, as I like look down like, oh, okay, all right, it's fucking round. I get it, but nobody would know. Like, and like, I hate when people are always like, "Oh, that person's just fucking stupid. Oh, this person's fucking stupid." Now, don't get me wrong. I've met people that have thought the Earth was, flat, but they were like, and I labeled them stupid, not because they thought that the Earth was flat, is because they had a fucking like they had an argument for everything, and I'm full with people having arguments, but you got to bring that other like, do you actually work towards anything that you say you're going to do or want to change? And if you're not, like, dude, then you're just another person that's just spitting out fucking shit. Like, if you're actually working to achieve something and you have legitimate questions instead of just being like anti everything because you feel like
oh man,
that's the cool thing to do. No.
totally. That's why I like at a certain point, I feel like the conspiracy theorist people are just as lost because they'll be like, yeah, the reptilians are trying to like control our flat earth. And it's like, dude, man, no, like you don't know, don't you get it? Like you're making us people who actually have genuine questions and curiosity look like fucking nutcases because you think that you're so sure that they are trying to like we don't know any of that. That's what I'm saying. And I'm like I haven't really met anyone else who just says I don't know and leaves it there and just goes about the day who isn't like a complete fucking nut job, you know? It's usually these nut jobs, like your typical flat earther profile, the typical kind of flat earther, you know? They're just like unemployed, just watch like videos on YouTube, just want to shove their theory down your throat. And man, that's not the way to go either. Like you said, you've got to just be open-minded to the fact that what you're preaching is wrong too,
Yes.
right? Like maybe it is, maybe NASA is right. I'm fine with that.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, I think if you can get to that point where you don't really know, then like that's the more stuff you try to win. Like, and that just builds people skills. You're able to relate to people more. Because if I were to take, I know a lot about, nutrition, quote unquote, but do I really know that if I were to eat a carbohydrate, like my body actually has insulin? Can I see it? No, I don't fucking, I'm just gonna somehow a little bit trust the like data that we do have that hormone, but do I actually fucking know? Do I have a magnifying glass? Do I have all this shit? No, I don't. I don't know.
Yeah, and then I guess in your case, it's important and relevant to trust. But with something like the moon landing, the reptilian shit, the flat Earth, like that's not important on day
Reptilian
to
shit.
day.
What's the reptilian shit? That's What's that
You
one?
haven't heard of
Oh
Well,
no, what is
the guys
this?
listening to this and people listening to this are just gonna like go crazy. But there's theories that I guess I'm just like paraphrasing here. I haven't looked into this too much, but that these elite people who control us aren't actually human beings. They're
Okay.
like some other kind of species that is different. They're like intra-dimensional or something like that. I mean, I'm honestly just like I haven't looked into this for years now. Um, but it's more down the lines of, oh, what's that really famous dude's name? One of the most famous conspiracy theorists. He's like kind of chubby American. Has a show. InfoWars is a show.
Oh, Alex Jones.
Alex Jones, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is like down Alex Jones who will say like, that look at how his eyes blink, and they like have this show this like video of somebody's eyes like blinking that way, which could just be CGI.
Dude, you enjoy.
All those eyes are, look, man, the reptilian bankers are controlling us.
Dude, I don't know what it is about that motherfucker, but just I enjoy listening. Even if he's wrong, I just enjoy listening to everything he says because he says it in such a way that it's really appreciated. It's like, yeah, and then the frogs are gay and they're doing all this shit, and you're like, whoa, maybe. It just has a
So
way
yeah,
of fucking saying shit.
that they're a different kind of they're a different species, and they're you know and this is the furthest I've gone down that rabbit hole, is like they are the ones who receive you when you go down that tunnel that you see when you die,
Mhm.
and they'll trap your soul into this like prison planet thing, and it's like, oh man, I need to go to sleep.
Right. Yeah, dude. That's a dangerous thing about YouTube, man. You could so easily go in to search a music video. Next thing you know, like why do fucking rabbits have sex at 4 a.m.? Like you're down that rabbit hole. And you're like, what the fuck where did this go?
Yeah, man. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. In your case, it's relevant. Like you need to trust, right? Just like I need to trust that if I go and work out, my muscle is going to break down and then rebuild itself. I don't know that, but we've got to kind of like I've got to trust that theory, and that's what works, and it's working. So, um, this is kind of what Dr. Cassie speaks about, the placebo. So
Mhm.
I'm really, really interested in her nutrition class because she's uh, also a conspiracy theorist, but actually
Really?
has like primary data, things that she's experienced herself, which go against the official um, allopathic narrative.
Like,
So, like, for example, being able to cure an infection without antibiotics,
mhm.
which I thought was never possible. And then she's just like, you just need to kind of let your body do its thing as if you were in the wild. And in the wild, you wouldn't have antibiotics. Like an animal will just let every symptom is your body actually healing. That's her theory.
No kidding. You ever heard of Brett Weinstein?
No.
So he's a professor. I could be wrong butchering this, but anyways, so I've listened to his podcast a few times, and I've actually read his book. So his one thing that I remember is that his son had broken his arm, and instead of just taking him to the doctor to get it all casted up and all, they just wrapped a sling on it, and like within like a week, his body just healed itself. Right, it was like it set itself again, and then a couple months later, he was just good to go again. And I was like, wow, that's fucking wild. But it was preaching that your body has all the means necessary to fix itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I totally believe it because I discovered her when I think we spoke about this in the last conversation, but I discovered her when I was on that raw meat experiment thing,
Mm,
and got like a fever and root canal infection, and then just didn't do anything about it. And the fever like went away basically overnight
mm,
because I didn't take what when I it reached the point where I would usually take medicine, even being the, you know, I don't want to call myself a conspiracy theorist, but the anti whatever narrative person that I am, at a certain point, like certain things I would just do, right? I would probably, if I broke my arm, I would probably get a cast.
right.
But I'm not like that out there. But that was the first time I was like, okay, let's just see where this fever goes and what happens. And I woke up the next day and was like completely fine, which might be a coincidence as well. I don't know. But that's when I was like, okay, this stuff works. Same with the root canal infection. Dentist told me I need to get my tooth pulled, and my face was like all swollen up. It turned into like a sinus infection, and I just literally just left it. And you kind of like reach this threshold where your body's like doing something, and then it's done its thing, and then it goes away.
Yeah, no, I believe it.
So for that reason, talking about the thing that's on my leg, I'm just gonna let my body do its thing. You know, I don't know what that is, but
It's just wild. That shit is wild. I've never seen anything like that. Like it's not even, it just looks, I mean, I've seen like I got something similar right here, but it's like it's nothing to like your extent. Like it literally looks like there's a like a little marble when it pops right out. And that just will pop right in. I'm like, whoa, that is some wild shit. Especially being there right on the calf where it's usually like fucking lean as fuck. And it's just, always hard. Like there's nothing, it's a fucking calf. Like even fat people have like the meanest calves. And I've never seen anything like it. Like, dude, that's fucking wild.
well, I didn't really think anything of it, man. Maybe that's because yeah, I've been listening to Dr. Cassie for like a long time now.
No
So
kidding.
I fully just like trust my body to do whatever it needs to do.
Yeah.
Um, whether it's, you know, a tooth infection or whatever, literally can do whatever it wants.
Yeah. That's how,
'Cause, for example, like what's the difference between a scab, right? It's a scab when you've like got like you've cut yourself and then it turns into the scab, right? What's the
yeah.
difference between scab and fever? Like why is a fever bad but the scab's good?
Well, I know the fever, um, it raises your body level so that way whatever bacteria or whatever you have inside you, it raises your body levels heat so that way it could, essentially kill it off. That's the point of a fever.
So I guess the equivalent of taking antibiotics to stop your fever would just be like constantly taking or removing the scab and not allowing it to form,
Yeah,
right?
no, for sure. Like there's like that makes sense. But I also know that there's also like deadly fucking things that were like, yeah, you get fever, but the fever is not enough to overcome that shit. Like scarlet
Yeah,
fever
yeah.
or all that kind of like that shit needs real medical diagnosis. But I think, having like a healthy skepticism like that, there's nothing wrong with it because, being a parent will open that up to you just naturally anyways. It's like, dude, why do you need this, and this for every fucking thing? Like you just think about it, it's like, how did we even get here as a fucking species? Right? How? Like if ever you need a fucking pill just to go outside, how the fuck did we ever get here? Like, what is going on?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't leave the house without sunscreen. It's like, dude, what? Oh, what? How did we get here?
Yeah.
Get here, so you fucking sunscreen?
My son's mother hates this side of me because we obviously had to talk about our kid whether we're gonna vaccinate it or not. And I just didn't even go into the debate. I was like, look, you know my views, but I'm gonna be flexible and let's do whatever the majority thinks is okay.
Like,
Um, so yeah, I'm not gonna apply my kind of thinking to my kid, unfortunately, because my partner isn't equally as out there. But if she were, then it would probably be different. So
I don't
I'm
know. Like,
flexible.
so even then, like that term is just so fucking perverted now. Like, and nobody even heard of like an anti-vaxxer before. Like, oh, anti-vaxxer, and it's like, why? Because the COVID thing. It, people had every right to be like, oh, I don't know, I don't trust that. Like, it just came out, and we're saying all sorts of crazy things, and now it's just become this whole thing where, oh, anti-vaxxer, dude. Lots of people have gotten vaccines over shit that, you know, like, again, we think, like, you and I don't know, but older people know, like, we're there, or last of them were there for like some crazy shit. But yeah, there was like vaccines to where general intent was good, and now that's the question that everybody's like, dude, we're questioning your intentions towards everything. Towards where, what are you trying to do to us? And then, oh, you're a fucking anti-vaxxer. It's like, dude, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
How does that make me an anti-vaxxer? Like, special, now I don't know what vaccines you guys are talking about. Like, that's your guys' right as a parent to discuss that. Like, and I think that's the only thing that parents, want to be, left alone about, is their own decisions for their own kids. Like, obviously ethical, like,
Well, they're not obligatory here, but she's let's say pro-vaccine, so got all the COVID ones and was like, I'll get all of the COVID ones I need to get, you know. So we're like complete opposite ends of the spectrum again. Where I was like, I didn't get a single one, but that's just me, and I mean, I'm cool. I think it's more important for the kid to have a peaceful environment where his parents can learn to be flexible rather than fight over something like that. So the fact that she is gonna put up a fight makes me immediately be like, okay, fine, like you'll do whatever you want. If you're gonna be the person who isn't willing to discuss it or kind of be a little bit flexible, then I'm just gonna give you all the slack because it's like we're both pulling on this cord, and if somebody doesn't just give a little bit of slack, it's just gonna rip. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna, do it. I think our bodies, again, I believe like the stuff Dr. Cassie says, I think our bodies are so powerful that even if you fucking directly injected him with whatever, the fact that he's just going to be surrounded by love will think about like cigarettes and shit like that, how in theory how terrible they are, but then you've got people who smoke and reach like 90, 95 years of age because placebo wise they don't really get they it's like they don't the cigarette doesn't smoke them, they're like smoking it, so they're in control and their body is just like kind of not affected by it as much as, for example, somebody else who will get fucked up by the age of 40
yeah,
from smoking cigarettes.
some people won't even smoke and they'll get lung cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought it was more important to just be a peaceful father in terms of like my relationship with the mom than to fight over whether or not they're going to give him like the vitamin K vaccine. Like, oh, did you not see the reptilians are trying to inject him with poison? It's like, dude,
What
just
the
let it
fuck
go.
is a vitamin K vaccine? Like, that's a new one. I'm like, dude, fuck, man, I gotta pay more attention in the world. I don't know what the fuck a vitamin K vaccine is.
I think that's the one that's like coming next week. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because these fucking things are like on a weekly basis now. These fucking vaccines and these. illnesses, like fucking what was that? The monkey fucking pox.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Jesus, dude.
yeah.
At some point, like, how do you not see into like this fucking bullshit?
Do
Like that's
you know
that's what
Wim
always
Hof,
blows
right?
my mind is how do you not see that something's fishy?
Maybe it's food, you know, maybe it's the food people eat, whether or not it's just like makes your mind foggy. I wonder.
And I used to think that too. I used to think that too. But then, I always use like I don't know, I'm not big on anecdotal stuff, but I always use my own self as a question mark. Like if I ingest it and I can still do all these things, then I start to question, right? So whatever you're telling me, if my body's disproved it, then that's not 100% on point. So it's the
Yeah.
question, you know? It's just like if, all right, here you were like at it somewhere, and then all of a sudden, like something just rolled off the edge and you just never found it again. You're like, all right, is the earth really round? You know?
Yeah.
You just start to question. I mean, I know that sounds pretty fucking wild and all, but if something doesn't add up, of course you got to question it.
Yeah. Yeah. So so we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you know, part of the whole COVID thing was like if you take them, you're automatically infertile and shit like that. And she proved that wrong, man. She took like three or four of them and got pregnant.
Yeah,
So there's like nothing to worry about.
dude, I just,
I don't know, you know, like in her case, no.
I see, I don't even know. Like,
You're,
I
if
just
you're
don't
there was
understand.
another theory that said if you give birth to a COVID child that's like from a mother who's had the vaccine, it's gonna come out like looking like an alien or something. And people there's all this like evidence of like magnetic people going. Did you see that stuff with the magnets?
No,
No.
what?
Yeah, so they said apparently there was like graphene and man, this podcast is not gonna reach anybody. It's just gonna be straight up
Dude, it's
blacklisted.
it's either gonna be reach no one or it's gonna reach a lot of people. It's
But
going
there's this theory that there was
big
like
or go home. Yeah.
graphene in the COVID vaccine and it made people magnetic. So there was these videos of like people
Like
with
X-Men?
yeah, I guess so. People with like
What?
spoons stuck to them. Have you not seen those videos going around?
No. Did you put a
Okay,
spoon
so
to your son to see if this was theory was actually correct?
actually I did. I threw a spoon at her because before she got pregnant, you know, I just like tried the spoon thing because I knew that she got all the COVID vaccines and obviously the spoon didn't stick to her.
Yeah,
Um,
how did you even tell her, or did you just like you just put a spoon up, you were like eating a yogurt, you're like,
yeah, just
what is
throw it
that?
at her.
I'll get that.
Verifying.
Yeah. I just didn't even tell her I'll get that. And then if it sticks to her, it's like, oh well, something's for her. But if it doesn't, you're just like, oh, no big deal. My mistake, baby. I didn't mean for that to happen.
Well, you know, all the tinfoil hatters were like, that's because she received the placebo one. She was one of the lucky ones who it wasn't affected. It's like, dude, you always have the, like you said, you always have the fucking answer for everything.
Yes. Right. That's
So
the fucking
annoying.
wild thing that's what gives people who question anything a bad fucking reputation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like you
What are you
take,
saying? Like she received like three or four placebos by coincidence, like all of them were placebos. Come on, man.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you're just like you're a reptilian banker.
Yeah. And the frogs are gay.
Yeah.
Uh, dude, listen to that.
Oh man.
He's just, dude, to me, like I always love when he goes on the Joe Rogan podcast. Like that for sure. I'll tune right the fuck
Wow.
in. I will tune right the fucking because It's almost like you familiar with how Howard Stern got so big? Like most of his
No.
listeners, is because most of his later listeners hated what the fuck he was saying, but it was always they want to know what he's going to say next. They want to know what he's going to say next. So with Alex Jones, I don't hate him. I just always want to know what the fuck is going to say, because like even if 80% of what he says is right, you're still like it just makes you question and aware,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
just
man.
always a fucking
Yeah,
fascinating
yeah.
conversation.
Totally. But I mean, I started listening to him when he said, I mean, I haven't listened to him in years, but what got my attention, that's what I meant to say, with Alex Jones was when he was talking about the Bilderberg group. Have you heard about that?
No,
That's actually real. I mean, well, okay, as far as I know, I mean, you can actually go to the website and see that the most powerful people in the world will have an annual meeting that's secret, and it will be in some kind of place. And you can look it up online. You can look up who attends it, and it's like top bankers, top politicians deciding
a think tank?
on.
Is it more than a
Uh,
think tank?
I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's just called the Bilderberg meeting, and you have to get you're usually invited. But I mean, Spanish politicians are invited, and Spanish like bankers, like the CEO of Santander Bank went last year, and they'll openly say that they go because in theory they're just talking about policies and stuff like that, which is fair enough. I mean, if you get all the most influential companies need to kind of decide on things, right? It makes sense. But according to Alex Jones, they're there like plotting for plotting the enslavement of humanity and stuff like that.
No shit.
I mean, I've actually been to one of the World Economic Forum meetings in 2005 because it was in a
Really?
country I was in, and I saw everybody there, including Bill Gates as well, like with my own eyes. Um, it was in Jordan, which is where my mom is from. So I was living there at the time and worked there as waiting staff, right? The person who comes and delivers the water. So I haven't met Bill Gates. He just like took a bottle of water off a tray that I was holding. And so did Richard Gere and like a bunch of big names
Wait,
like that. They're
what the
all
fuck? Richard Gere is at at the Who convention? What the fuck is going on here? That's a
no, this is
conspiracy.
WEF, not who. World Economic Forum is different.
Oh, this was say this again. This was at what meeting?
World Economic Forum.
The World Economic Forum.
2005, I think it was, or 2004 at the Dead Sea. Let me see. World Economic Forum 2005, Dead Sea. Yep, there it is. Saving Dead Sea 2005 World Economic Forum. Uh, I want to say it was 2004 though. But anyway, I was there, man, and they all meet, and then they'll go into the big hall, and somebody will talk, and I don't know what. Yeah, here it is. It was 2004. 15th to the 17th of May. So
Richard Gere.
yeah,
My
he was
God,
there.
dude. Holy fuck. This is why this show is going to be a big hit or
Let's
known, but not. Is because I can already think of the title. Thinking, yeah, great conversation with Steve talking about conspiracy theories and Richard Gere.
Is Richard here a reptilian backer?
It's a, mother, we're all fucking controlled. Richard Gere, that motherfucker. Holy shit.
Yeah, he wasn't very nice. I mean, honestly, like Bill Gates transmitted a better vibe than him, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, I mean, I was in the bathroom and he was in the bathroom. He was like fixing his tie, was just like kind of shitty, whereas Bill Gates was like a little more humble.
Bill Gates was humble or Richard Gere was more humble?
No, real. Bill Gates was much more humble. He like actually made eye contact with the ushers and waiting staff, and he was just like seemed more human.
Bill Gates?
Yeah,
Really? And Richard Gere was like,
at
no.
that time anyway. 2004 is like maybe that was before they took over his mind or whatever.
Wow. Yeah, fucking Richard Gere. That's probably about the time where his acting career started to. Hang on, let me Google it. Is he still alive? Richard Gere. Jesus. 73. Yeah, he's still alive, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I should fucking yeah. Hachi, A Dog's Tale was 2009. That was like probably the last maybe big thing. But even before then, shit. Yeah, Unfaithful might have been his last big movie. Yeah, so you makes sense now. You met Richard Gere when he's real domination, man. Why you don't see him anymore.
I just Googled Richard Gere World Economic Forum 2004 Dead Sea, and I spent 2 days at the World Economic Forum Dead Sea, and all I got was a lousy photo of Richard Gere.
Fucking amazing. Like
Yeah.
of all stories, that's my God, dude. You got to go on fucking Andy Frisella's podcast. See,
Talk about
cruise. It's not even cruise to internet, like something along those lines. And we're like, dude, I got it, man. We're all going to hell
that.
because this motherfucker never won his Academy Award. So he's taking us over.
Oh man, between him and Bill Gates, like I'm gonna take over the world with computers.
Yeah, you got that complete end of the spectrum. You got, the very good looking one and the very nerdy looking one. And so I think it's all wrapped up. Not that that
Oh
makes
man,
any fucking sense
that's
at all.
hilarious. That's hilarious, dude. But yeah, I was talking about this because of that Bilderberg meeting, which is just as open as the World Economic Forum, and they just all meet in secret and they don't really talk about what they've talked about, and they're not supposed to say. So it seems so childish if you think about it. It's so just like, no, we're not going to tell you what we spoke about at our secret meeting.
Right. Well, then again, it's like us as
But I
people
get it. I
allowed
get
this
it.
to
Why?
go.
People just like everyone will want to have a say, and then we're just going to be like discussing the 2024 strategy the entire year and never get anything done because naturally people are not gonna might not like it, right? Like some people are gonna disagree.
Yeah, like I understand that for sure. But you would think there's even with those conventions, you would think that somebody is just a little bit in touch with with reality or how people feel, or not how people feel, but how what resonates with people.
I think you need to have a track record of being not that way.
Like being like just a fucking solid dude. Like
Yeah,
for
no,
me,
I think you
I
need to have,
remember, a big thing for me voting on a president was just having someone that had military experience, so that way they knew, all the complexities, not all the complexities, but they knew how to have emotional control, what, the shit that we can get into, what goes on behind closed doors, a sense of that.
yeah.
And now it's like, I don't know. I don't know. So, I don't
Now
know.
you
Like, that's a whole
president doesn't shit their pants.
Jesus. Like, then that's a fucking stupid thing on its own too. Like, no, it's like I remember like Saturday Night Live. You familiar with Saturday Night Live?
Yeah,
When that show was actually funny. Like it didn't matter what president, they could make fun of him, and that shit was legitimately funny. And now it's
yeah.
nobody makes fun of him. Like even recently, like there was a whole bunch of car commercials that you'd hear on the radio making fun of Donald Trump. and it was funny. It was legit funny, talking in his voice, like, "Nope, nope, we're gonna come down, we're gonna take care of you. It's a beautiful sail. You don't know how much you're gonna save. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. Come on down." And it was funny. And now it's like nobody makes fun of Joe Biden. Like you can't make fun of Joe Biden.
Yeah, he's like, just sniff that car.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, come down. It's as American as it gets. You come down, you're gonna sniff it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, it was on Andy's show. Like, I think it was Andy who said, like, nobody's talking about all those like videos of him like sniffing children. There's like one compilation on YouTube of like Joe Biden sniffing kids, and there's like all these clips like back to back, like edited in a way that's just like looks disgusting, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. There's actually no somebody else's. Do you know the Hodge twins?
Rings the bell, but no, no, gotta say
So,
no.
it's these twins. They used to be Democrat. They're Republican now. They used to be really big on YouTube for like bodybuilding and all
Okay.
this stuff. And so, dude, they and they're black. I think they're like half. They're mixed. But dude, they are so fucking funny. They were talking about Joe Biden, how he's just like this motherfucker just going up sniffing all sorts of kids' hairs. And people say, and you don't even think of it like because most people, I mean, I don't even fucking watch Joe Biden on TV anymore because it's just so fucking silly. Just watching him, and he's like he'll sit there like I always thought. What's his name? George W. Bush. Like his facial expressions were pretty funny. How he would be talking to you, like,
Yeah.
but I mean, Joe Biden just takes it to a whole nother level. He'd be like, and then he just look, no, literally no one's there. And it's like, oh, I can't watch this shit.
Yeah, man.
I never noticed how he would just like smoke, like just smell people's hair. So then I believe, if memory serves me correctly, they had like a whole like collage of just every time he fucking smelled people's hair. It was so creepy.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
But then again, like, I mean, you could go into a conspiracy of how he was voted into presidency, but I know for like a fact there's so many fucking people that just voted for him, not uh, d- not due to anything else, as to what is because they hated fucking Donald Trump. And I don't, and that one I still can never get past is why people had such a strong emotional connection to hating this man.
Yeah.
Like,
Why do you think?
I don't know. That's a great
Maybe it's
thing.
just like jealousy or something.
I don't even know, man, because I stopped to think about it. Like, I don't like Biden or his policies or just how bad he's fucked up this, country. But I don't have an emotional attachment to him. Like, no, they're like, yeah, his policies suck, everything sucks. But when I stop to think about it, I don't be like, I fucking hate that man. All of it.
Yeah.
Like, no, like, dude, he sucks. He's got to go. Like, it's done.
Yeah.
So no
Yeah.
emotional attachment to him. People legitimately have an emotional attachment to hating Donald Trump, and I have no fucking idea why.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's very interesting. That's a conspiracy. Maybe that's a conspiracy to look into.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would go for envy, but I don't know. I've met those kind of people you're talking about, like in person here. I've met them where I'm like, I thought this guy was just like, I can't wait for Biden to win because finally that dick like Donald Trump is going to be on. I was like, what?
Yeah, dude, just
Weird.
fucking hated him, man. Like for no real reason. Like even if you thought he was fucking up, okay. But just how do you have an emotional attachment to somebody you've never met?
Yeah.
Just or like not never had it, never met, never had a conversation with, nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
We're like She had an emotional attachment to fucking Richard Gere before you even fucking saw him. Like, fuck, yeah, Richard, that last movie, it was terrible. How could you make some shit like that?
He's just like,
That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. All right, man. I hate to fucking wrap this show up, but fuck, it's been fucking amazing. It's been funny. It's getting.
yeah,
Where can people find you at?
let's never quit on Instagram
And
and on YouTube, hopefully soon too.
okay. And what is it that you help people do?
Get into shape, basically, get your mind right,
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
find peace of mind through movement. That's the phrase.
Nice. Guys, check him out. He's the real deal. All right, man. I'll be in touch.
Okay,
All right.
thanks.
Yeah.